Hello, everyone. So today we're going to learn how to determine the rule when you're given a table. Not your kitchen table, but a table in which you've got two different, every X and Y stands for a different pair. And you have to figure out what the secret rule or the secret pattern is. So we're going to determine what the growth of this is and what the original looked like. So the first step, as you can see, is usually the math teachers are going to give you a table looking like this with the numbers going across. That is not how you solve problems. You're really, really, really good at it. What I did is now I'm going to rewrite the table by stacking it instead of looking at the numbers across, because it's easier for me to understand it if I create my own table where the numbers are stacked top to bottom instead of left to right. So here I go. So I'm going to go zoom in and here I go. Okay. So in this case, X is 0 and Y is 4. I write 0 here and 4 there. I write 1 here and 9 there. I write 2 here and 14 here. Write 3 there and 19 there. Okay, so that's kind of easy, right? That makes it a little easier. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is figure out how much it's growing, how much the figures are growing. So if I'm using what I've learned about figures again, to pretend that X is the figures, except instead of drawings, you're seeing just the figure number. So this is figure 0, figure 1, figure 2, and figure 3. And those are just growing by 1. So that's pretty easy. So I know that these figures are next to each other. First step is to determine the growth. So instead, I look at what's happening with Y, and I can use subtraction to figure out if there's a pattern. And there should be a pattern if we do this right. So how many spaces are there between 4 and 9? I can subtract that by doing 9 minus 4 is 5. So I can write a little sign there that lets me know that I'm adding by 5. So 4 plus 5 makes 9. Now let's see if this works. 14 minus 9 is also equal to 5. Okay, so I'm starting to see a pattern here. Seeing that the pattern is growing by 5. So therefore, every single figure is getting 5 new blocks or 5 new numbers to it. And since this is multiplication is repeated addition, I've officially figured out that every single time it grows, it's being multiplied by whatever the number figure is, and that's the growth. So the growth here is 5. Right there. Okay, cool. All right, because I know that multiplication is repeated addition. So I know that the X, whatever the figure is being added. 5 blocks are added every single time. Now, the next step is to determine the original. And usually it's not given to you. So I'd have to go backwards. So if I'm not given figure 0, I should figure it out by subtracting, going backwards. So subtracting 5 instead. But here I'm lucky. I've been given figure 0, and I know figure 0 has 4. So I can determine safely that figure 0 is 4, had 4 blocks to begin with. And now I can test my experiment and see what happens. I can test it out. So I'm going to say that every figure is being multiplied by 5 and 4 is being added. So let's see if that works. So 0 times 5 is 0 plus 4 equals 4. Okay, that's easy. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 4 is 9. Okay, that makes sense too. 2 times 5 plus 4 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So I just gave you the shortcut on how to do this. You guys have been doing it the way where you have to guess the multiplication problem, then add. I'm telling you that this is how to do it correctly. And it takes a lot less time because all you have to do is figure out that it's growing by 5. Of course, here. And of course, here I'm asked asking you to determine what figure 4 is. Well, that's easy. All I have to do is now do 4 times 5 plus 4, which is 20, plus 4 is 24. So the missing figure has 24 shapes. Now, if I'm going to write this as a linear equation, I'm going to use the y equals mx plus b, which is right over here. Which is right over here. So, x plus b. So, for any shape figure y, the number of shapes that are in there, the rule is that it's growing by 5 times x, because it's growing by 5, as you can see here, plus how many the original had, which is 4. And there you go. You can graph this on a graph or use Desmos to make the graph and see what it looks like to infinity. And that is how you determine the rule when you're given a table. If you need any help or any questions, feel free to ask the teachers. Thank you.